Coffeezilla v SBF FTX. What is their morality? DB Applejack, he is trying so hard to do a scam apology to her. I know, right? Hey, what's up, Amish? What's up, Addie Valley? How you doing, baby? McZemzem says SBF Bankman Fraud. Yeah, he's a fraud. Clown, yes. I would bang a soft piece of bread at this point. Ryder69. Well, it's my pleasure to tell you, Ryder69, that you can bang a piece of bread. You can bang one right now, dude. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Do it during the show. I don't mind. If anyone out there, listen, everyone, if you're chilling out, hanging out, listening to the talk, listen, grab yourself a drink. You want to have a little smoke? Want to have a little drink? Go ahead, get yourself a drink. This is the congregation. Talking about the culture, talking about the issues. Anyway, let's watch this.
Coffeezilla, the mic is yours, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to quickly ask, so there's this big question about this $8 billion that went into some kind of a stub account. If I just want to get some clarification on this, from my understanding, what you're basically claiming is that back when FTX didn't have banking, you'd use Silvergate to have people to wire money to Alameda Research and then credit them on the
Hey, everyone, if you hate the scammers, make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the like and hit it. No, just hit it once. If you hit it twice, then it unhits it. Just hit the like, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and let's study the morality of this whole
FTX
thing.
side, but you didn't actually account for that money going back to them. So essentially you had like $8 billion coming to FTX you didn't have on the books, technically. I mean, can you explain more how that worked? Because it seems like such a key part of this whole thing. And so far, we've gotten like very vague things about stub accounts. Just try to be as specific as you can on how that actually happened.
So again, some of these are things I'm trying to piece together that I don't have the full answer to, but I think that part of it was, I believe that
I hate his stupid voice. He's just got that such a cocky voice. Those are some things that I don't really have the answer to. Those are some of the things that I wouldn't really know about that. Wasn't my department. It's like cocky pussy. It's like it's soft, but then there's like this sureness to it. What is it? He's crazy. It's an interesting technique. We haven't seen this technique from a lot of people because most of them are alpha male and they go hard alpha, but he's doing something in the middle. He's alphaing, being like, that wasn't my department and I wouldn't know that.
How that worked, because it seems like such a key part of this whole thing. And so far we've gotten like very vague things about stub accounts. Just try to be as specific as you can on how that actually happened.
Again, some of these are things I'm trying to piece together that I don't have the full answer to, but I think that part of it was, I believe that there was, correct FTX accounting, in terms of, the audited financials. But that at least I can say that when you sort of pulled up, on a dashboard, what the accounts look like, it would not have, it wouldn't have displayed those transfers, and it wouldn't have displayed the balances related to those, which meant that it was that the sort of what you would naively see as the relevant it's the relevant sort of position size was quite a bit smaller than what the full position size was.
Specifically, you're talking about the funds that went into Alameda that was credited to on the customer side on FTX.
Yeah,
you're saying that basically when you looked at your dashboard, Alameda was using those funds to trade perhaps, but that ultimately you couldn't see that on the Alameda side because there was some kind of an accounting problem where there was a mix up with where it was credited. Is that the story?
Yeah, it's something roughly like that, or at the very least that the common displays of it did not include that piece of the accounting.
A real quick second follow-up. So I've talked to a few Alameda insiders, and I've kind of run them by your story of things. I think you probably are aware. I'm pretty skeptical. And they...
I think you know that I think you're a liar. I think I've called you a liar like 19 times. He does keep saying, like, on his channel, he's like, this guy's a liar, and he lied, and he's a liar, and he's a sinner. But then even when he was talking to him on this one, he was like, well, it's hard to believe you because you have said, you have not told the truth so many times. You have said something and then that turned out to be not true several times that you did that. And so it's hard I have to push back on you on this. And he just does. Yeah, it's true. Someone was saying that the mainstream media is giving him a softball. Look, I think there's one New York Times interview that was good. But other than that, yeah, Dude, they softball now, I guess because they jerked him into the spot. They up-jerked him into the spot. They said, go, go, go. We, like a year ago, they were like, we got the crypto king. This kid's worth $85 billion. Just gave $40 million to the Democratic Party. We got him in studio. Sam Bankman Fried. How you doing, baby? How you doing? And they just jerked and jerked and jerked him up to the moon. So now that he's a fraud, now they must feel some guilt of like, do we want to just go and tell it? Do we want to just say we screwed this one up? Or do we want to just be like, so how did it happen? I mean, the whole thing looks so convincing.
One of them, when I told them like, sort of like, could it be that Sam wouldn't know about this? Somebody who worked with you. And they actually, like, they laughed and they said, there's no way he's claiming to be stupid now when he was like this genius wonder kid. And so my sense of things is, how do you explain this? How do you explain the fact that some of the people who worked with you for years, your employees have come out and said, there's no way he didn't know about these backdoors. There's no way he didn't know what Caroline was doing when you guys were very close. The offices were right next to each other. I mean, how do you expect us to believe this story you're spinning?
I mean,
it's just no, it is just one person lying and then the other person saying, okay, but clearly it is a lie. And why don't you just admit that you're lying?
I had a lot going on. And I was spread thin. I was a bit less grounded than I had been before. And I lost track of a lot of important things.
So wild.
Hang on one second. I think spread thin is one thing, right? Like, I think, things can get out of hand, but we're talking about a fundamental understanding of whether Alameda was commingling funds with FTX. I mean, I saw your Stephanopoulos and Sorkin interview, and you're pretty categorical that you had no idea that you were mingling funds. So that's what I'm asking about. Not like, did you know exactly what was happening on November 7th or 8th? I mean, I can understand sort of things getting out of control, but we're talking about the most fundamental grasp on how your business worked. You're telling us you had no idea.
I was not aware of a lot of what was going on, was not spending.
So there's the arrogance, like, I was not aware of what was going on and I wasn't spending time there and I was spread very thin and I had a lot on my mind. I was spread very thin and I had a lot on my mind and I wasn't really focusing the time on there. So the funds disappeared and I don't know. And
much time and on looking at, position risk management. It was a big mistake.
I don't know who said, I believe you have like good intentions here. SBF has only one intention, which is to save himself from jail. Let's all keep an eye on that, because if you want to read into his statements, everything is said with the idea that he's trying to paint a narrative of himself, that he made an embarrassing mistake, that although he's this genius who went to these top tier Ivy League schools, worked on Jane Street, wooed everybody from BlackRock to Sequoia, all of a sudden he's an idiot the second he's committed fraud, right? We're supposed to believe he didn't know what was going on the company he started and ran for years. We're supposed to believe he didn't know what was going on right across the street. I mean, how stupid do we have to believe a narrative like that? It's completely insane. But people are like kissing his ass saying, oh, I believe you're doing the right thing. No, he's done enough. He's helped enough. He needs to take a sideline. He needs to go to jail, and people need to get whatever pennies they're going to get back from this whole thing. He's lied from the very beginning. I'm like shocked by the credulity people have in relation to this guy. They just like suck up whatever he's saying. Nearly everything out of this guy's mouth is a lie, except where it lines up with him not going to jail, and then he might tell the truth. But every single thing he says is with the aim of not going to jail, and everyone needs to remember that.
That's a sinner. That is a sinner. Oh, he was spreading his things somewhere else. Wow, how do you forgive a sinner like that? How do you forgive a sinner like that? I mean, he's just not, sometimes forgiveness isn't saying like, okay, it's okay. Like, it's more like, do you do the he's foolish, he knows not what he does? Because there's always the he's foolish, he knows not what he does. And there is a little bit of like delusion in his voice and in his head. Like, he's just like, when he says like, I was spread a little thin and I didn't have the time and I wasn't really paying attention and it got away and that's it. And the moral of the story is, you are loved because you are loved. Such is the nature of loving kindness. Okay? So now that I've done my karmas, make sure you do your karmas, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and sign up for meditation. Ascension is upon us, foolish. Sign up for meditation immediately. Ha! Am I still here?